They lived through wars, through pandemics, through heartbreak, losses, and endless change. And yet they reached an age most of us only dream of, 100 years old and beyond. Not by chance, not by genetics alone, not even by the perfect diet or exercise routine. When doctors finally studied them, they expected to find secret supplements, superfoods, miracle habits. But instead they found something shocking, a forbidden truth. Something every centenarian had in common, and something doctors rarely, if ever, talk about. Because it's not profitable, it's not popular, and it goes against everything modern life teaches you. The forbidden truth. The truth is simple and devastating. They fiercely, unapologetically avoided chronic stress. Not just feeling stressed for a few days, not just occasional bad days. They built lives designed to protect themselves from the long-term, low-grade, ever-present stress that modern society has normalized. They didn't just manage stress. They rejected it. They walked away from it. They built lives that made chronic stress nearly impossible. And that, more than any diet, workout, or supplement, is what gave them decades of extra life. Why doctors don't talk about it? Doctors treat diseases. They prescribe medications. They diagnose and manage symptoms. But chronic stress? It's not something you can easily measure. It's not something you can fix with a pill. Chronic stress weaves itself into your life quietly. The job you hate but can't quit, the toxic relationships you tolerate, and the constant financial pressure, the endless noise, speed, and pressure of modern living. You can't see it on an X-ray. You can't measure it with a blood test. But it's there, destroying you from the inside, cell by cell, year after year. And unless you fight it, no other health strategy will save you. The centenarians knew something we forgot. They didn't just deal with stress. They organized their entire lives to minimize it. They chose slower lives over faster money. They prioritized relationships over status. They respected rest as much as work. And they accepted what they couldn't control and fiercely protected what they could. It wasn't an accident. It was survival instinct, and it worked. What chronic stress really does to your body, modern science now proves what the oldest among us already knew. Chronic stress shrinks your brain, literally causing brain volume loss. Chronic stress weakens your immune system, making you vulnerable to diseases. And chronic stress inflames your arteries, leading to heart attacks and strokes. And chronic stress accelerates aging at the cellular level, shortening your telomeres, the protective caps on your DNA. You don't just feel bad when you're stressed. You age faster. You weaken your body. You shorten your lifespan. The slow poison. The danger of chronic stress isn't dramatic. It doesn't kill you overnight. It kills you slowly, day by day, choice by choice, compromise by compromise, until one day your heart gives out, or your mind frays, or your body breaks down under the invisible weight you carried for years. And by the time symptoms appear, it's often too late to reverse. That's why the centenarians didn't wait for symptoms. They lived as if stress was poison, because it is. How they built stress-proof lives. They didn't have apps, wearables, or mindfulness seminars. They had simple, powerful habits. Community, daily face-to-face connections with neighbors, friends, and family. Movement, natural, low-intensity movement built into their day. Farming, walking, tending gardens. Purpose, a clear reason to wake up every morning. Something bigger than themselves. Faith or philosophy, a spiritual or philosophical framework that made sense of suffering and reduced fear. Boundaries, an ability to say no to toxic people, to unrealistic demands, to unnecessary chaos. They weren't lucky. They were intentional. They chose peace over pressure. And it paid off in decades of extra life. They didn't live stress-free lives because life was easy. They lived stress-proof lives because they chose differently when life got hard. They grieved, but they didn't drown. They lost, but they didn't cling. They struggled, but they didn't break, because they knew. It's not the stress you encounter that kills you. It's the stress you allow to take root inside. Modern life versus centenarian life. Compare that to modern living. Constant notifications, endless to-do lists, financial anxiety, toxic comparison on social media, isolation masked as independence, work addiction glorified as hustle culture. We live in a world designed to keep you stressed, because stressed people are easier to control, easier to sell to, and easier to distract. The 100-year-olds who survived and thrived? They opted out. They didn't let the world tell them what mattered. They decided for themselves. The hidden symptoms of chronic stress. Most people think they'll recognize it. But chronic stress hides behind other masks. Fatigue you can't explain. Weight gain even with good diet. Brain fog and forgetfulness. Chronic inflammation and mysterious aches. Loss of passion and joy for life. You think you're just getting older. You're not. You're breaking down from the inside because of an invisible war you didn't even know you were fighting. His story. A centenarian's decision. One 101-year-old man was once asked how he stayed so healthy. He smiled and said, "I never argued with fools. I never chased things I didn't need. And I never stayed where my soul felt small. That was it. No secret vitamin. No secret gene. Just an unshakable commitment to peace over drama, to simplicity over chaos, to love over fear. And it gave him a century of life, rich, full, and free. He didn't eliminate all pain from his life. He lost loved ones. He faced poverty. He suffered injuries and setbacks. But what he did eliminate, fiercely and without apology, was unnecessary pain. The kind you invite into your life by staying in the wrong places, with the wrong people, doing the wrong things for the wrong reasons. Pain is part of life, he said. But suffering, that's a choice. How you can start today. You don't have to move to a mountain village. You don't have to abandon technology. You don't have to escape modern life. But you do have to choose, intentionally and daily, what you will allow into your mind, heart, and body. Start simple. Audit your stressors. Make a list. Name them. Stop pretending they don't exist. Cut one source of chronic stress this week. Maybe it's unfollowing toxic social media accounts. Maybe it's saying no to that extra obligation. Maybe it's ending a draining relationship. Replace, don't just remove. Fill the space with peace, not emptiness. Walk, laugh, read, breathe. Honor your nervous system. You weren't designed to live in constant alarm mode. Your body needs moments of true rest, not just sleep, but soul-deep peace. What happens when you choose peace? When you start protecting your inner world like your life depends on it, because it does, something amazing happens. Your heart rate drops, your digestion improves, your sleep deepens, your memory sharpens, and your body starts healing itself in ways you thought were impossible. You don't just add years to your life, you add life to your years, their legacy. The Centenarians weren't superheroes. They didn't have superpowers. They simply refused to carry burdens that weren't theirs. They refused to let the world's chaos become their inner chaos. And in doing so, they lived long enough to see children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, to laugh, dance, garden, sing, to live fully until their last breath. The forbidden truth doctors rarely tell you, and the truth the 100-year survivors lived by, is simple. Peace is not a luxury. It's a survival strategy. You can have the best doctors, the best supplements, the best workout routine. But if you allow chronic stress to rule your mind and body, you will pay a price in energy, in health, and ultimately in years lost. Your challenge, starting today. You don't have to change everything overnight. You don't have to be perfect. But today, not tomorrow, not someday, choose one thing. One relationship to heal or leave. One obligation to say no to. One daily practice to invite peace back in, even for 5 minutes. Small choices compound, and every peaceful choice you make is an investment, not just in how long you live, but in how deeply, richly, beautifully you live. Final words. The 95-year-old man who shared this wisdom didn't speak with bitterness. He didn't speak with fear. He spoke with a quiet, powerful joy. The kind of joy that only comes from a life well protected. A life spent nurturing what matters and ruthlessly pruning what doesn't. If this story opened your eyes, if it made you rethink what real health and real longevity mean, if it inspired you to protect your future more fiercely starting today, then please, share this video with someone you care about. Hit the like button to help spread the message. Subscribe to Human Health Hub for more real-life lessons that can change your future. Your best years aren't behind you. They're waiting for you. On the other side of peace. Thank you for watching.